Who's falling for advertising these days?
Josh hates advertisements in general. Then all of a sudden a commercial will come on and he'll be like, oh my God.
Cologne commercials make no sense. You can't smell cologne through the TV.
It is weird.
There's one cologne commercial that you can kind of smell, and it's the one that Johnny Depp does. It smells like old cheese and like wine that's gone bad, and you can kind of smell that through the TV. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Josh.
And I'm Katie, and we're Fresh Breath.
We're the Band in the Van. This is the Band in the Van podcast. This is episode 26, where we are not in the van once again. We've spent too much time in there, so we decided to
spread out.
Shoot this one on the couch. But on this episode, there are no drop-ins from Johnny Depp. There are no drop-ins from any comedians that are trying to sell you stuff that we don't think are qualified. It's just Katie and I, and we just talk about our lives and the things that are on our mind.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to get to it, so.
We're not going to tell them what we talk about in this episode at all.
I thought we just did. Oh, the drop-in thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and then okay.
We're so good at this.
So we talk about...
In this episode, we talk about people selling you things that we don't think are qualified.
And we talk about the last few shows that we had and the driving schedule that we just endured.
Yeah, we talk about our concerns with sending your DNA into the internet along with your deepest, darkest secrets.
Yes, and we talk about how Iggy Pop could probably stop.
And we're going to get to it.
So let's get to it.
Band in the Van podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 26 of Band in the Van podcast.
Hi.
Today, we are
Out
at
of the
home.
van.
We're out of the van. And the reason we're out of the van is because we spent too much time in the van in the last couple of weeks. We planned on shooting the podcast from the van, but it turned out that we just drove some more, and we didn't shoot a podcast.
Really didn't have a lot of time to do it in the van.
No, we didn't do it in the van. Yikes, there's always time to do it in the van. Should we cut that
15
out?
minutes. We probably don't need 15 minutes.
I don't think so. Oh, thanks. Okay, so if you're just joining us for the first time, this is the first time watching the podcast. Katie and I are musicians. We travel around Canada and the United States. Usually we shoot the podcast while we're on the road in the van. We set a 15-minute timer, which Katie just did, so we don't waste too much of your time. Now let's dive into it because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we realized that, we upload on Sundays, and it's now Monday, but we still wanted to put out a podcast this week because we have lots to talk about.
We do. So we just spent... last weekend or I guess 2 weekends ago now, at the Kingsville Music Festival. We would like to really thank them for having us out. We got to play a set with our full band. It was so much fun. I'll drop a clip in here.
You were trying to figure me out. Honey, with the best of them, there's no doubt. Whiskey shots with a big chaser, nothing but time to waste. Away the sorrows of our youthful mistakes. Lying on our backs in the yard, watching stars.
And then we got to do some songwriting circles, which was new and fun for us.
Yeah, we got to kind of hang out the whole weekend and be a part of it, each day in a different way.
It was very inspiring. It's very nice to play for audiences that are there. They know what they're there for. They're there for original music, and you get to just really show what you're about and meet other people that are doing the same thing as you and sharing your stories from the road, and it was a lot of fun.
Such a great way to network with other musicians too.
Yeah.
And I didn't know until that weekend or 2 weekends ago now that Estelle Klein idea was hers
from
to kind of
Mariposa.
like songwrite and a workshop with other musicians
Yeah.
at the festival.
Yeah.
I had heard of the name, and I know there's an Estelle Klein Award through Folk Music Ontario and all that, but I didn't know that was her
We
initiative.
didn't know the history, so that
was really cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
So thank you again to Kingsville Music Society for putting that on and for hosting such a great event, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was
And then the last week we did 20 hours of driving in 3 days, which was a lot.
I mean, seems like you're on tour or something. But.
Yeah, but we weren't. We just we drove up to Prince Edward County for a one-off show, which was great. A place called Caddyshack's, which was fun. It's like this adult
And
mini
kid-friendly.
putt. Yeah, it's kid friendly too, but it's like you can drink beers while you play mini putt.
Probably one of the nicest mini putts I've ever seen.
100%. So that was a cool show, and like everybody there was great, and it was a cool audience. There's probably 100 people plus there at any given time, so that was cool.
Yep.
And then we drove home, played.
It's not close to us. Prince
No, it
Edward
took us
County.
6.5 hours to get there. I think it's like 5.5 if you just drive straight. But human beings have to pee.
Yep.
And
need to eat
and
just-
stretch a little bit,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And then the traffic in Toronto is always fun.
yeah, let's just say it's fun. Let's just say that's fun.
Yeah.
I don't understand where everybody's going.
Josh was like, "Is everybody musicians just going to a gig?"
I feel like that's what it is. It's everybody's a musician just driving around
like,
on a Thursday
Everybody's
afternoon.
going to meetings. Like, there's no more remote meetings anymore. I don't know.
I don't know
Or everybody is just doing their thing.
I don't know.
There's just so many people.
Who knows?
And
Anyways.
it's not even the U.S. It's
Yeah,
Canada. It's
I
like
know.
minimal.
That's where all the people are though. Like
know.
in this whole country,
Is
they're
in
all
Toronto.
they're all there.
Yeah, you
That's
can tell.
like every single one of them. But anyway, so that was fun. And then-
We're from the country.
Yeah, we see 3 cars a day, and one of them's ours. We drove home after that and played a show in Bell River, which was great. And then we drove up to Grand Bend on the Saturday to finish off our week of shows in Grand Bend at one of our
the
favorite
Bad
spots,
Apple.
the Bad Apple Brewing, which is great. Okay,
Yeah. So we had
now-
a nice busy weekend full of shows and driving and all the things
Yeah.
that we love.
Okay, so now we're getting into a new segment called Josh Has a Bone to Pick. Okay?
Or what would we called it before? Don't
no.
be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous,
Don't be ridiculous.
but I feel like it's almost...
Or don't get all crazy on me now.
Yeah,
It's all the same.
I don't know, whatever it is. It's things that I find hilarious and probably just don't need to be happening. First of all, Iggy Pop, you need to stop. I don't know his music very well, and I know he's an icon
He's
and
white,
whatever.
light, white heat.
But like, I just feel like he should throw a T-shirt on. You know,
He's never had a t-shirt
He's
on.
never had a T-shirt on. I know, and like at some point, like even Bert Kreischer is gonna have to put the T-shirt on. You know,
Yeah.
because nobody wants to be staring. Like I'm already past that point. I ain't rocking shows with no shirt on. Nobody wants to look at this shit.
But so I don't know why, but Josh must have hovered over the Iggy Pop stuff
Oh, it's
a
my
couple
whole
too
feed.
many times, and now his whole feed is just Iggy Pop like
Yeah.
dancing with his shirt.
And like
off.
I don't know, I think he has like scoliosis or something. So
It's his
spine's
dance move, isn't it? Or
I
no,
don't know.
he's
I
always-
think he's just always like in this contorted, like,
It's like him being like,
or he's just done it too long, and then his
Yeah.
back's just like, well, this is the way we stay now. I don't know. Anyways, and like Iggy Pop, thank you for what you've done. These are jokes. All right, don't be too mad at me.
rock and roll, buddy.
Rock and roll. You keep taking your shirt off.
You're
old
really
buddy.
doing it. I love it.
Okay, now number 2. I don't know who's falling for advertising these days.
Josh hates advertisements in general.
Just advertising in general.
We'll be laying in bed watching TV, and I'll think he's like sleeping, and then all of a sudden a commercial will come on, and he'll be like, "Oh my god, why would I want to buy cologne from this person or whatever?"
Yeah,
and
I don't
he just gets so
understand.
upset.
You brought up a good point though. Cologne commercials make no sense. You can't smell cologne through the TV.
It is weird that
It is weird.
people would be like, I can't. Oh, you know what? I'll get that one that. What's her name there? Natalie Portman did.
Yeah.
Portman did a commercial for like what? I don't know.
You can barely see her on camera now. She needs to,
She just
needs
consumes cologne or
Yeah, that's
perfume,
it.
and that's it.
But there's one cologne commercial that you can kind of smell, and it's the one that Johnny Depp does. Because you can kind of be like, it smells like old cheese and like wine that's gone bad, and you can kind of smell that through the TV.
Which one is that?
I
It's
don't.
like,
I forget. It's like Dolce and Gabbana.
oh, maybe.
But anyways, like he's the only actor I know that has adapted or like adopted his wardrobe from a movie. You know what I mean? Like he just took the whole wardrobe from
like a-
Pirates of the Caribbean,
A rock star / pirate
Yeah.
look that he does,
like
right?
all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's kind of like the Aerosmith guy too. I
Yeah.
feel like they're kind of similar that way. I feel
Yeah.
like they could be your grandma in drag, or like
we're really throwing celebrities under the
Steven
bus.
Tyler.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe we'll get the attention of some angry celebrities. That maybe that's what we're up to today.
Yeah.
So actually, more on that. We listen to Mike Birbiglia's podcast, and I watch every single special that he puts out. I think he's one of the smartest writers.
Yeah, he's a storyteller.
He's a storyteller. He's got really great like delivery, and it always has meaning, and everything ties together. And it's hilarious. I think he's a great writer. I think that his advertisements on his podcast missed the mark a little bit.
Okay.
Mike, little backstory. If you don't know who Mike Birbiglia is, he's a comic. He lives in New York, and he is famous for sleepwalking out of a second-story window
La Quinta.
at a La Quinta Inn.
Yeah.
All right? Like, he famously does not sleep well.
I jumped through a second-story window sleepwalking of a La Quinta Inn.
He has a sleeping disorder.
Yeah,
right?
and so he has to sleep in a bag with mittens on.
sleepwalking disorder
Yes.
or something, right? I forget what it's
So
called.
now,
but-
on his podcast, he tries to sell you mattresses.
yeah. I
There's-
can't even remember the name of it.
I
because
forget it too
we've
because
been
I
giggling
just
about
think it's
this for
so
long.
ridiculous that a person that famously doesn't even use his bed is
Does not
just
sleep
up,
well.
just up walking around all night with his mittens on, is trying to sell you a mattress. I can't get past it. It blows my mind.
Well, maybe he's like, because he's said it in his special that he has like a special sheet that has like a hole cut out for his face that he gets zipped into so he doesn't get out of bed.
And then he has to wear
And then they
mittens so he
lock
can't open it.
lock his door so he doesn't leave the room because he has a young child and like you don't want to throw the child out the window or whatever is
Yeah.
gonna happen. So maybe he's like, in spite of all of this stuff, I can sleep well because of this ND mattress or whatever it
It
was.
depends on what spin you put on it. I just feel like he's never in it. He's just up bouncing off the walls at night and like never in the mattress.
So yeah, Josh is like, at what point does this guy get the sense to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna advertise with a mattress company.
Yeah.
Or maybe they approached him to be like, you talk about sleep a lot. Here's a
You talk about sleep a lot. Here, how
and he's
about
probably
you?
like, sure.
Yeah, sure. I'll say I sleep the best I've ever slept, which is not at all in
Yeah.
this Latva or whatever it is.
Lava.
Or, is that the mattress company? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
We
I
might
forget.
have to. We're not sponsored by any
See,
of these people.
the advertisement didn't work on us.
Didn't work.
We were
I
too-
sleep fine.
We were too distracted by the whole concept of Mike Birbiglia selling a
Yeah,
mattress.
I don't understand it. And the funny part about most commercials is like, that like they go through like the process. Like there's a meeting about like
Yeah, like, okay,
Yeah.
let's script this.
this
and
is how we're gonna do this, and this is the best way forward.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like I'm not like buying skin cream. Like let's just say discount skin cream from Aveeno from Jennifer Aniston, who like she doesn't
Or
use
like
that.
what? So we listen to a lot of podcasts, and like they have so many ads. Some of them don't, some of them do, whatever, and that's fine. But the one we were listening to was like Two Bears, One Cave with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, and Bert Kreischer is like a known like partier and like kind of crazy animal,
And like Baby Walrus, who doesn't deal with his feelings
and
well.
he's on there being like, BetterHelp for therapy. I use it, and it's awesome.
It's like
we don't
you-
need BetterHelp ads from Bert Kreischer.
No, you can very easily tell that he is not using BetterHelp.
He's like totally like he was using it as like a coach system or something,
Yeah.
like to maintain goals and stuff. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
not therapy, but you can use it however you want.
I get it. But like, again, it's just like Mike Birbiglia does not sleep well famously, and he's selling mattresses.
But,
so
so-
Bert Kreischer, who's famously a lunatic, is like, maybe we will get him to
Again, maybe
offer-
these are advertising angles to be like, these are people that need these things probably to help aid them with their struggles.
Did we just figure it out?
Are we therapists?
I don't. I think we are. I think we just therapied each other into like now all advertising.
I mean, if
makes sense.
BetterHelp wants to reach out to us and work out a deal, I'd be open to that too.
Maybe we need BetterHelp.
Maybe.
Maybe we should stop giving BetterHelp a plug.
But here's the kicker about what we really think about BetterHelp.
Oh yeah, we want to get into this, so we're gonna. I forgot about this whole conspiracy theory.
So yeah.
Okay,
you
so
start.
first of all, sending your DNA into the internet is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. All right,
That's not for BetterHelp.
That's not for BetterHelp, but that's just
for,
like my
23andMe
general.
or
That's my
whatever,
general outlook on it, because like they already have your whole Facebook profile. They know everything you've done, everything you like. They have all of your Google searches, and then now they just have your DNA. So when they replace you with your cyborg version of you, they have your DNA, and like it's a whole thing. So now what we're thinking is, do you want to lay the? You can lay it on them.
Yeah, well, okay, so BetterHelp, if you haven't heard about this yet, it's basically an online therapy system, and it's been around for years, but it's becoming more and more popular because it's hard to find therapists, it's expensive. So this
They're doing
concept,
a good thing. Let's put
it
it
is
out
a
there.
very
They're
good
doing
thing.
a good
I
thing.
think it definitely is beneficial, and there's probably listeners right now that are like, I use it, I think it's great.
However,
we always had this thought in the back of our mind that, okay, so you're texting, you're calling, you're video calling these people, and it's probably going into a BetterHelp blog system of a file system online.
recorded and
recordings
documented.
and everything. So your deepest, darkest secrets, problems, everything, you're just giving it to the internet. It may be secure now.
for now, until
But
there's a data breach.
What if one day there's a data breach and then they know everybody's deepest, darkest secrets? They have it all on file. They can blackmail you. They can do all these things to go against you. And they probably also have your address, name, and all the information, credit card. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like the internet's a great tool, but sometimes it's the oversharing, just like you said with the sending your blood in to get Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
And then you also tell them all your deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden those two companies are going to combine and they're going to create, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just a little scary to think
We're a
about.
little bit let's just say we're a little bit timid of
We're
the
a
internet.
little apprehensive of all
We're
of
on
this.
the internet a lot, but we're not sending our DNA into it. And I if you're going to go to therapy, in my opinion, would like to speak with somebody in person.
Yeah.
That's not just like video logging all of it and putting it out to the insecure web where people can buy it and whatever. So anyways, we're not trying like
Just
this,
a thought.
This has been a whole podcast of us just shitting on stuff.
Advertisements and services.
So now, I guess
I mean,
just,
again, we've spent 20 hours in the car this weekend, so we
we
have
talked
a
a
lot
lot.
of time to think about
We
this.
have, and we've listened to a lot of podcasts where we have a lot of people just trying to sell everything, and it's just kind of like sad in a way. Like,
Well,
obviously, if we got anybody reaching out to us, I'd be like, sure, Tonka toy trucks. You know, like I don't care. I would advertise, but it's just funny
Some
just
sort
watching.
of coffee sponsor.
Anything like carbonated water.
I would take like something for the van.
I don't know.
Camping
we'll see.
stuff.
Cannabis companies, anything. All right, there's our 15 minutes. I hope that if you didn't learn anything from this at all today, you at least found it the least bit entertaining, because we enjoy ourselves. We spend too much time in the van together, and we talk about some crazy shit sometimes.
So it's nice to get it off our chest.
It's nice to get it out.
Bounce it off of you guys
Yeah,
and see what
there
you
you
think.
go.
If anyone out there is listening that's used BetterHelp or Ancestry.com or anything like that, and they have a hot take that they want to share with us, put it in the comments.
Yeah,
and
for
we'd
sure.
love to hear from you too.
And again, these are jokes, folks.
Yeah.
Let's not take things too serious. If you need help, talk to somebody, please, whether it's online or offline. 100%. And
Yes.
just don't buy cologne from Johnny Depp. Gives a shit. All right.
Probably doesn't smell that good.
I
mean,
wouldn't think so.
the one thing I've learned too recently, and I think it's because of COVID, you can't go into a store anymore and like smell all the samples.
Yeah.
So these commercials, it's like, well, what are you gonna? I don't know. Like, you just email away for a sample of all this stuff.
$1 million idea. Scratch and sniff TVs. All right. We got to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.